With the release of Inside Out 2, we're now at 28 Pixar films. So today, I thought it was time for me to stop and rank all 28 Pixar films from the worst to the best. Nobody doing it like me, man. Nobody cranking out these reviews. Nobody cranking out these rankings like me, man. Like, come on. I'm cranking out the reviews. I'm cranking out the rankings. I'm cranking out the shorts. Nobody's doing it like me, man. Because if no one else is going to do it, I got to do it. I gotta do it, man. But anyway, please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SW Nation, and you are free to comment down below your very own ranking from the worst to the best, just like me. Or you could just do your favorite. Come over here and join the SW Nation. We have a lot of fun here. You guys can check out those links in the description to my Twitter and to my TikTok. The Twitter tells you guys what movies I'm watching at what specific time, and the TikTok, all of my shorts go over there first. All of my short reviews go over there first before they come over here to the channel. So check out all of those links there in the description. With all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into our ranking. Kicking off our list at number 28 is The Good Dinosaur. While it's a technical marvel, I still don't like this movie. I tend to like to skip this movie when it's time to rewatch, but I keep trying to give it chance after chance. Bottom line is, the adventure is boring and Arlo is annoying. I don't find him to be a relatively great protagonist, as he is selfish and whiny, but never likable. In fact, I'd rather watch a movie about the cowboy T-Rexes than The Good Dinosaur. 27 is Lightyear. Disappointing ain't even a word. I just think the story they decided to tell was fundamentally the wrong one to tell with this character. Not every movie has to be a deconstruction of a character. Buzz could just be cool. I don't know how hard it was to tell a story about a space cop, but apparently it was. The characters are annoying, the villain twist is terrible, and the only thing going for this film is the animation, but at least that has to be good, thanks to the $200 million behind it. If this is the movie Andy saw as a child, I don't think he would have asked for a Buzz Lightyear toy. 26 is Cars 2. I have a love-hate relationship with this movie. On the one hand, it's the most rewatched Pixar film for me as a child, but also it's the one since starting this channel I have given a lot of hate to. I really like this movie. I think Lightning in his prime will always be legendary, and The Spies is pretty cool for this franchise. But when you establish your franchise as racing, it's kind of hard to jump from city boy small town to spy espionage. Not even the Fast and Furious films did that jump. They gradually got there. So I think the hate that this film gets is that it's very odd in the middle of two films about racing. 25 is Turning Red. I'm going to keep this one brief. It's cute, it's cuddly, and all around charming. I get it, the messaging inside of the film isn't the best, especially if you're watching as a parent. It's not the best. Honestly, it's a really crappy message because it's about this teenage girl rebelling against her parents. Don't trust your parents, trust your friends. Your friends know what's best for you than your parents. But then again, after rewatching it, maybe I was wrong about it being meh. I thought it was meh when I first saw it. I thought it was meh for the past 2 years, but maybe not anymore. Look, I'm not the target audience for a film about a 13-year-old girl wanting to see a boy band, but I'm also not the target audience for The Little Mermaid. And I love that film. I cried and I saw it twice in theaters. I don't love Turning Red, but as early 2000 films go, this one isn't that bad at capturing that era. 24 is Coco. I don't want to get a lot of flack for this. I know a lot of people love Coco, and when this film came out, everyone at school was talking about it. But I do think that Coco is just a tad bit overrated. It's beautiful to look at with all of its vibrant colors of the land of the dead. I think the emotional moments of remembering a family member that meant so much to you in the past hits hard, and the music and culture is just all so special. But like I said, the problem here is that it's just overrated. No, Coco is not the greatest Pixar movie. And no, it's not that rewatchable. In fact, it's just the bigger budgeted version of The Book of Life with some obvious differences. But in my opinion, I didn't grow up with Coco. I grew up with The Book of Life, and The Book of Life is my Coco. 23, A Bug's Life. It's interesting how much better this film is than Ants, and they're basically the same kind of movie a bit. So I saw Ants earlier this year for the first time because I was planning on doing a DreamWorks ranking for Kung Fu Panda 4. Unfortunately, due to school, that didn't work out. So I just have notes on a lot of DreamWorks films without a ranking to show for it, which I am going to do when the next DreamWorks film comes out, The Wild Robot. That's neither here nor there. That's just a little sneak peek of what's to come, but I don't have any big issues about this film or any big feelings about it either. The characters are entertaining enough, and I love the way it looks. As the second Pixar film, there's nothing that stands out here. It's good, but forgettable. 22, Monsters University, sort of like an underdog story here. Seeing this charismatic duo as enemies first was an interesting choice, but wow, was everything just so entertaining here, since I can relate to most of the college stuff here now. I can relate to the frat parties or anything like that going on. It's kind of like an American Pie, but Pixar-fied American Pie films. Those frat college movies from the early 2000s, this is what this film feels like. And it's not better than the first film by a long shot, but it sure is an enjoyable romp. I still wish that we got a proper Monster Inc. 2, though. 21 is Finding Dory. I think in terms of fun and enjoyment for the moment, it's great. I love seeing the deep blue sea again with these very great characters. We even get some new characters in there that are just pretty much fun. But it's missing the heart of the first film. It's the sequel that I wish Cars 2 was, but just like Dory, this film is just forgettable. Top 20 list is Luca. Now, I don't think the allegory was that they were gay, but I think it works as a film that takes you back to that summer where you discovered yourself. That summer where you meet new friends and go on new adventures. This is what that film feels like. I love the journey of friendship Alberto and Luca go on. The voice cast is charming, and the idea is what got me excited in the first place. While it is kind of forgettable, you kind of forget that this is a Pixar film, you kind of forget that this is a film that they released, I think it's a charming enough fish out of water story. Literally. 19 is Brave. This is a great freaking movie, man. I love the conflict between the daughter and mother, but also how their relationship needs to bond to break the curse. It's sort of like how Frozen did, with the sisters' love for each other, rather than the prince kissing the damsel in distress. Except this movie did it first. The emotional moments all hit for me. The other issue is that, just like Cars 2, it seems pretty odd when Pixar tries to do Disney princesses. At the end of the day, Brave is still a great freaking movie, man. I'm tired of pretending that it's not. I'm tired of pretending that it's at the bottom of my list. I'm tired of pretending that right above Good Dinosaur and Cars 2, there's Brave. That doesn't sit right with me anymore. 18 is Up. What's there to say about Up that has not been said? The first 10 minutes is some of the greatest visual storytelling ever, and I think the film's fantastical adventure through South America is the definition of an adventure. When I think adventure, I think snipes and traveling through Argentina with talking dogs. I think that because of this movie. But while it's very emotional and character devoted, just like WALL-E, it's the one that I'm not always going to put on over others. It is very overrated, just like Coco. 17 is WALL-E. A beautiful film, I'm not denying it. WALL-E is so cute and adorable. And it's really about a character longing for connection and how they'll do anything for that connection. It's part silent film. It's part romantic comedy. It's part social commentary. With all of that mixed in there, it's hard to say that it's a bad film because it's not. But just like Up, I'm not rewatching it over others. And just like Up and Coco, it is totally overrated. 16 is Onward. It may not be Frozen, but damn it, I love sibling love stories. Not that way, not in an incest way, but the main plot being two brothers on a quest to see their father. It's what Pixar does best. Takes these weird ideas and make them into emotional and enjoyable adventures. You gotta love Chris Pratt. You gotta love Tom Holland in there. I love the fantasy aspects, and it's just modern enough to where it doesn't go into insanity. At this time, Pixar was just getting back into original stories, and in my opinion, I think they were already off to a great start. Unfortunately, this film got buried in the craziness that was COVID-19. 15 is Cars. I think the Cars franchise gets a little bit too much hate here. It was a passion project for John Lasseter, and while this film is very familiar, like other films, the animation on it is just gorgeous. I love seeing the track lit up at night and watching those race cars just go round and round and round in that track in that opening sequence. And you also got to talk about just how the races are all engaging and fast-paced. You feel like you're on the track with them. Cars is one of the most rewatchable films on this list. I just like other films more, but this is a certified classic for my generation, for my group of friends, and even in my household. 14 is Cars 3. Now, while the child in me loves Cars, the teenager in me loved Cars 3. It's the best of the Cars franchise, but was the worst performing for some odd reason, feeling like a true sequel to the first film while also aging McQueen to the point of retirement. With this third film, they had a chance to tell sort of a Rocky story, finding a way to make McQueen kind of an underdog again. In the first film, we saw him as the rookie. In the second film, his prime. Now it's time to see his life beyond the track. And well, I dug it. It's all about legacy, and it takes McQueen's determination very seriously. To get back on the track, he wants to make a comeback, but he learns that his time has passed. This is what Kung Fu Panda 4 wanted to be, but instead of giving the spotlight to Chick, they gave the spotlight to Cruz, a character not only inspired by McQueen, but also throughout the film was shown capable enough to take his spot. Unlike Kung Fu Panda 4 giving the title of Dragon Warrior to this thief that was an antagonist throughout the entire film. I love this movie. This is what the franchise should have been leading to in the second film. 13 is Ratatouille. This film takes the weirdest concept in Pixar history in a rat cooking food and turns it into a film with so much soul and heart. Brad Bird, hot off the trails of, you're talking about Iron Giant and Incredibles. He brings a certain sophistication and elegance to this film. The way that they visualize Remy tasting different foods makes this film distinct from the rest. To its core, it's about what a great artist can be and where a great artist can come from. And that concept is handled beautifully in this film. 12 is Toy Story 2. It's the worst of the Toy Story franchise to me. I find the plot of Woody contemplating leaving Andy because he feels as though he is broken to be fine enough. I think it lines up well with his character, and it also lines up well with how his character acts inside of Toy Story 4. For me, I watched this film a lot as a child, but I'm not one of those people who think Toy Story 2 is the true conclusion to the franchise. It's very good, guys. It's very, very good. I love Toy Story 2. I only find the other films on this list just a little bit more interesting than this one. 11 is Soul. I love this movie. The way that it uses smooth jazz to its advantage to pull big emotions out of you. It's also a film about finding your purpose and what makes you, well, you. At the start, they killed the first black Pixar main lead that they've ever had. And from the jump, I was like, okay, is that how they see us? But it later turned into a celebration of life. It starts with a death and ends with a celebration of life and living in every moment. And it came out at a special time for me, being home during the pandemic. 2020 was such a devastating year, and this movie comes out and becomes a celebration of life, and it changed the trajectory of my life forever. This and Onward back to back proved Pixar was still at the top of their game. Kicking off my top 10 list is Elemental. I never thought that Elemental would be at the top 10. I never thought that I would say that I loved Elemental. Last year, I said that Elemental was really good, but I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty great. I freaking love Elemental, man. After watching it like 3 more times after I saw it in theaters, it's a beautiful story that is at its core about immigration and our parents' sacrifices so that we can be anything that we want. It's about learning to live your own life while respecting those sacrifices. And you know, it all worked for me. I am in college. I left home. And it came at one of the perfect times of my life. Just like Soul did, Elemental did. The environment is beautiful and awe-inspiring to look at. If it wasn't for my number 1 film, this would be my favorite animation out of all the Pixar films. The score is hopeful but also very cultural, and of course you have to talk about the romance in this film, which I was very mixed on. While it has all of these themes of immigration, it's basically Pixar's version of a rom-com, and well, I felt the romance worked, but I wanted more maturity in it. All in all, I think this will be one of Pixar's classics going forward. Number 9, Toy Story 3. I can't talk about the top 10 without having Toy Story 3 in the top 10, man. My Toy Story. This is my Toy Story movie. I saw it in theaters and loved it till this day. I remember in 2010 when my birthday party was Toy Story themed and I got all the toys and got Toy Story 1 and 2 on DVD and Blu-ray. To me, this is the essential Toy Story film. All of the promo, all of the posters, all of the toys, everything surrounding this film, I grew up with. I was there. I was there when the trailers dropped. I was there when, opening night happened and I went with my grandma. She took me as a child. And all of the characters get dialogue. The designs are the best in the film. And as a Prison Break story, chef's kiss, man. As a conclusion to the Andy trilogy, I have nothing but applause. It's an emotional film that pulls on your heartstrings. Not just seeing Andy grow up, not just seeing him go off to college, but also when they do the neat trick of making us think they were really going to kill the toys. Toy Story 3, by all definition, is the perfect Toy Story film. 8 is Inside Out, a charming adventure that also tells an engaging story about our emotions and how to better understand them. It's kind of like an educational video for children to understand what's going on inside our heads. I love how the emotions all have different colors and obviously their characteristics, but also let's not forget the message about allowing yourself to feel and allowing yourself to not be okay. They represent this in the film through the experience of a 13-year-old girl moving away from home. It's inventive, it's colorful, and all around emotional. The first Inside Out does a powerful job at helping us understand our emotions just a little bit better. Number 7 is Inside Out 2, the newest addition to the Pixar list, and wow. I can't believe a new Pixar film came out and it's in the top 10. By aging Riley up, we were able to see her in a new and relatable light, such as teenage angst, and the only way Pixar can do it, they display that in a clever and unique way. The characterization of anxiety displayed a message that rivals the first film. If that movie was about it's okay to not be okay, this film is a warning to all teens and preteens that if we bottle up our core emotions, our mistakes, our insecurities, and especially our anxieties, can and will control us. 6 is Monsters, Inc. Man, do I have so much nostalgia for this film. This film works solely on the chemistry between the friendship of Sully and Mike. Their banter is quippy and fun. I think it's the best friendship, bromance relationship in all of the Pixar films. And the different hijinks that they get into, it's just all around entertaining to me. At its core, it's a film about a company going bankrupt and how will they up their numbers this year. People forget just how funny and clever this film actually is, especially for it to be Pixar's 4th film. It's one of the most creative and distinct of all. Kicking off our top 5 list is Incredibles 2. This movie came out at the height of the superhero craze. I love superheroes, and this movie is just in favor of them. You get all of the epic action and big blockbuster set pieces that you would in any other live-action cape flick. In fact, this is the closest to a live-action blockbuster from Pixar that we'll ever get. Elastigirl is by far the best soup in this universe. I love how they showcase her abilities being way more efficient than Mr. Incredible. It may not be better than the original, but I do think that the villain is better, the action scenes are more epic, the animation is a whole lot better, and it's an incredible sequel to the already incredible Oscar-winning original. 4 is Finding Nemo, one of the most emotional films on this list. It had me crying, and I haven't cried at Finding Nemo since, probably when I was 5? I haven't cried at Finding Nemo in years. But Finding Nemo is not just an ocean-sweeping adventure. It's also an allegory about parenthood, in particular fatherhood, and how you have to let go and trust that your child will be okay. The emotions are high, the comedy is sharp, and this is the best adventure of all the Pixar films, spanning oceans, spanning continents. You have Merlin going on this adventure, meeting sea turtles, jumping on jellyfish, and it travels all throughout Sydney, Australia to get back to Nemo, and he gets more confidence because his dad is coming for him, and his dad is doing all of these cool things. When I think about this movie, I think about one of the best films ever, period. And at one point in my life, I actually wanted to live at the aquarium because of this movie. Our top 3 list is Toy Story, a classic animated film. I know that we have these new animated movies now, but this one was truly revolutionary at the time. The first fully CG animated film is one of the greats. Of course I have nostalgia. I had all the toys. I acted out the scenes. Toy Story is that one film that has to be at the top of the list. Not just because of nostalgia, but also how fresh it is. Yes, Woody is unlikable, but the other characters are just as lively. And Woody is never unlikable to the point where he's unbearable. Woody is unlikable because he's mean to Buzz. But that's his art throughout the film, how to be a better leader. The adventure also is just fun overall. This movie is truly groundbreaking for animation fans and for the animation medium. Our runner-up at number 2 is The Incredibles. As a superhero movie fan, how can you not talk about The Incredibles? Before I knew about the Fantastic Four, before I knew about the X-Men, there was The Incredibles, the first superhero family. And when I say family, I truly mean it. This movie works solely on the dynamics and chemistry of the family. But also at its core, it's a film about a man in a midlife crisis. This film has a 60s vibe to it that makes you feel like you're watching an animated Bond film. And that's a testament of Michael Giacchino's score. When it comes to classic Pixar, The Incredibles just has to be at the top of everyone's list. But coming in at my number 1 is Toy Story 4. I'm gonna get hate. Because for some odd reason, people hate this movie. For some odd reason, people say it ruined Toy Story for them. But not only does it do a great job at continuing the story, it also serves as a great epilogue to the Andy trilogy. Woody was Andy's favorite toy. So while Andy did go off to college and that trilogy ended, how does Woody feel? They make a great point in talking about how there are many other children to give joy to, and maybe a toy doesn't have to be just for one child. What is so disrespectful about toys wanting to be there for more than one child? And Woody is not Bonnie's toy. Woody is Andy's toy, and Andy is gone. And also, Woody made the decision not to go to college with Andy. Andy was going to take Woody to college. Woody made the decision to stay with his friends to be with Bonnie. It's that moral question that Bo Peep introduces that gives Woody not only an arc, but a satisfying and reasonable progression of his character. And I will debate that till this day. You don't know how many times throughout the franchise Woody has left his child to go save a toy. It's by far the best animated Pixar flick, and again, a testament to Pixar's storytelling. Telling a story about finding purpose and what to do when that person in your life leaves. What are we supposed to do? Just cling on to that person? Or do we move on? I get it, Woody is a toy, but he gained consciousness. From the first 10 minutes of the film, you quickly understand why it was made. I don't get to hate for this film, and for that reason, it has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that was it for the ranking. Please note that everything that I did say in this video was just my own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list, and you're free to comment down below your very own ranking of all 28 Pixar films, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That link is in the description, along with that TikTok. That link is also in the description as well. All of my shorts, everything that I put on this channel, it goes over there to TikTok first. So if you want to get content early, it's all over there. With all that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to join the SW Nation. Like, comment, and share. I'm talking about share the content. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. All of that fun jazz. With all that being said, guys, I will see you all next time. Peace.